Gosh, we're struggling with light today. It's raining, it's wet. What a difference. I hope this video finds you well on a Saturday. It's Marie from Messy M Creations, and the aim of today is to show you that everybody can create cards. So what we have is this fantastic little brochure called Make Beautiful Things. Will show you how. So I'm going to show you how with the Hooray to You set. So this can be purchased as a complete little kit. So you get Stamp-Right markers, and oh, if I can open it, there we go. That's the hardest challenge, is getting into the packaging. And what we have in this kit is a beautiful, oh, you can't see the colours, there we go, Bumblebee, Misty Moonlight, Jade Green, Magenta Madness and Cinnamon Cider, or in simpler terms, yellow, blue, green, pink, and a lovely shade of brown. You also get one block E, which allows you to do the stamping. So we open that packaging, and when you get it out of the packaging, what you have is a film on either side of that block. So you need to peel that off. That's our block. Then you get a pack of Whisper White note cards and envelopes. So in here is 20 note cards and the appropriate envelopes. Now there are little envelopes, and these are probably fairly difficult to see on the camera, but they are pre-scored. So literally all we have to do is fold them in half, and then if you are brand new to crafting, do you know what we can do? It's really nice, make that crease nice and sharp. So we just take the block, just run it along that crease, and that just really sharpens up that crease. That's the cards we're going to use. And then we have this fantastic little set of stamps. Now the other thing I am going to quickly show you, actually, well, just in case anybody catches me, what I will be doing is anybody that watches live, then please obviously do interact and say hi. And if you do watch this on catch up, and then what will happen is this video will be shared in various kind of family and children groups, just to see if we can encourage some people. Now the sun's gone in and it's all damp and horrible. Let's get some kids crafting. This product does need ordering and takes around probably 10 days, depending upon when I place my order. So what we need to do is, there is a backing on every single one of these stamps. So we just need to remove that backing. And then I'm going to remove that little to you from that corner. And this says, let's celebrate you. No, it's time to celebrate is what it says. Then these are what are called the cling stamps. So we take off, once again, we leave that cling on, and we remove the that clear, that white backing off the top of that. So there is a, so it's slightly difficult to show you on camera, but there is a split part way to allow you to remove that sticker. Obviously if it's younger children, they might need help doing this. Depends on the age of your child, and I would say you know your child best. So then we can lay that down, and this now, these rubber stamps can be laid across that. And all we need to do is line up where that time to celebrate even, and the to you. And when we lay that down, what should happen is we can then pick up. So then once it's laid down, we just insert those back in again. Then when we pull that off, all our stamps are mounted. So that's that piece done. So essentially you've got a big block in the pack, because that is what this balloon fits onto. So this is going to be the primary thing that we're going to stamp. So you can see we can slightly, there we go, there, that fits. So we're going to be stamping. So I think what I'll do today is I'll do 3 different cards. So let's get 3 card bases out to start with, shall we? Let's do 3 different cards. And also what I'm going to do is show you that you can decorate envelopes. So, as I say, families, beginners, children, entirely up to you who crafts, but it's fantastic. People absolutely love to receive a handmade card, and this fantastic little kit makes it really easy. So for your 20 cards, you're looking at the kit cost of $47.50 for your 20 cards, but work that out based on what you could pay for cards in a card shop, and consider that once you've used these, you still have your stamps. So we've got lots of opportunities to use that. So we're going to do 3 different ways of doing this balloon, and then we'll use some of the bits and pieces to help craft. So let's go. So the first one, I'm going to take my pink. So we have a thin and a thicker end, and all we're going to do on the rubber stamp is colour across where it says happy birthday. So I'm going to make this one more girly. So you take the pen and just follow where that birthday is. And I'm going to go straight onto the card. Probably what you might want to do is maybe just have a little practice on some scrap paper. Just any white paper you can, or any, well, it doesn't have to be white. And then we'll do the ribbon. Just across the top of that ribbon. Now I've actually never stamped using this sort of technique, so in essence I'm going to be an absolute beginner here as well. So we'll learn together. So I'm used to having kind of ink blocks available, which if you enjoyed creating the cards with these, and friends and family absolutely love them, you could in time invest in some separate ink pads, because once you've got this set, the world is your oyster. You just need extra card bases. So we've coloured that in. And obviously what has started to happen is that started to dry. So we're going to give it a good, we're going to steam it back up again, as it were. So a nice heavy breath. Oh, lovely. Have you? I think it's fantastic. This is the first time it's been inked up, and the first time. Have you, Carol, do you have traditional inks? Because this is the first time I've ever, there you go, first time ever using Stamp-Right markers on a stamp rather than using traditional ink pads. So, oopsie daisy, we've just dropped something on the floor. Don't know what that was, but we'll find it later. So all then that needs cleaning off is you can use a baby wipe or any sort of non-linting cloth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to initially do all the balloons. So I'm going to do I'm going to do the whole thing in the yellow. So again, we need the fatter end. So we're just colouring across the block, having cleaned it. So what I might do, I'm going to colour across the whole thing. Actually, I'm going to do the string a different colour. I'm going to do the string cinnamon cider. Let's see, I can move this. Is that better? Oh, that's fantastic timing then, isn't it? Hopefully that's better for you. The video takes a little while to catch up, so we'll go over with the bumblebee, and then I'm going to use the cinnamon cider. It may be. I'm wondering whether it's the paper behind. Let me finish this one, and I'll remove that coloured paper from behind and see if I can improve it. So rubbing the cinnamon cider across the ribbon piece of our, and I'm just going to go back in and put a little bit more colour on that happy birthday. So just with the thick end of the marker, just going right across that lettering. And then we'll just breathe heavily on it again. A good so all we're doing when we're doing that is kind of just moisturising the ink again, as it were. Probably not the best word to use. And then I'm going to take away this paper for you, Karen, and see if it helps. So there we go, that's the yellow and the cinnamon cider. So let me just quickly, because I'm wondering whether it's because I'm on the dark paper as well. So let's whip, oh, I've got a dirty one underneath, right, bear with. But thank you for letting me know, because otherwise that would have been really frustrating for you, wouldn't it? So we'll get rid of the colour. Get rid of our dirty one of those. Pop right back in. So I'm hoping that might be better for you. Now, the other thing, of course, is because we've got all these pens, is nothing stops you going in and inking over if you wanted to make those darker. So you can add extra colour if you so wished. See the difference that makes? So fingers crossed. So keep that out of the way. So let's do our third balloon. And so we need to clean that off. So just that baby white. What you don't want to do is use something that's going to leave any fibres on it. We'll just go across with the baby wipe there. And what should we do more of a boy one. I know that's very sexist to say that girls are pink and boys are blue. Because that yellow could be multiple, but let's use all our, what other colour didn't I use? Oh, so I might do blue on the happy birthday. Now the other thing we could do is the little flowers around, we could do the one, so with the pen, so you can just pick which parts you want to be what colour. So you can see all I'm doing is going across that balloon on the ones that I want to make blue. And then what we can do is do the rest in, I'm going to do cinnamon salt. Oh, you do need the thick end, you can't colour in with the thinner end, but once you've got the pens, obviously you can use all sorts of projects with them. So I think what you need to be, all you need to be conscious of is that you don't want the ink to dry too much. So you can't spend too long colouring it in. Because even when we kind of breathe on it, I'm not sure whether it would work with adding too much liquid. So the idea of the breath is just to dampen that surface again. Just run it across the top like that. Then I'm going to go back in. Oh, there is a clear indicator on the pen which is your fat end and which is your thin end. You just got to pay attention to it, unlike me. It's actually quite therapeutic. It's like a little colouring in exercise. So I've just put a little bit darker over that. Oh, I've actually picked up a bit of fluff. Right, I'll just show that. Try and get rid of that. We'll have a good old breathe on it. And then straight onto the card. So if it's new to you, have a little practice first. So there we go, you can see where I've painted in the blue kind of around that part, and then that's quite an effective little finish, isn't it? Oh, I rather like that. Might be my fave. So then, because I'm going to do the 3 cards, that's enough for this. Oh, actually, no, before I take this off my block, what is lovely to do is decorate envelopes. So it basically gives somebody the idea that there's something a little bit extra special. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use just the, I'm going to do this one, I'll do this one for the, so I'm going to coordinate, and I'm going to colour in the string part of the balloon. So literally just running the pen across the top, and then I can stamp. Wasn't sure how much of that I would need. There you go. So I don't need to do much further than that. I'm going to leave a little gap between. Oh, I've got a bit of colour on there. Okay, that's not a disaster. Panic not. Take the colour off for future ones. Okay. So I'll do 3 different things on the envelopes to show you what you can do. So we're just putting the ink on the bottom part of that string and using the... But don't panic if you do get any errors. I think it just is nice to decorate an envelope. Because it immediately lets someone know they've got something that's a little bit different. And all I'm going to do is just slightly higher up. Let's put the cinnamon cider. And of course, this does not have to coordinate with the card inside. You could use all 5 colours. Let's check myself then. Check out 5 colours. All 5 colours, and you could make it a little colourful rainbow of colours. I'm not going to worry about having done that. But there you go. That shows. So, what we could do, could just put a couple across the front. Just going to do cinnamon cider and put a few. So you can just do exactly as you please. Decorate the envelope. And obviously we've got other stamps that we can use. But I thought I'd start that first envelope using that. So that envelope is going to go with that card. Then we can take this one off the block. Oh, actually, one other thing. Before I go any further, if you wanted the inside of the card to have a happy birthday greeting, all we have to do is carefully only put colour on the happy birthday bit. So I stamped it before I started inking this. I just stamped on that backing paper. So if you stamp just to make sure that you haven't got any ink stray, and that you've got a clean stamp, and I can add colour just to the happy birthday piece. So let's do this with this one. And then I'm going to put it, doesn't really matter what angle, let's just put it like that. So I've picked out colour of the balloon. Oh, missed a little bit at the top there, but it's all part of the learning process. We don't worry about these things. So that's why potentially if you've got scrap paper, you can have a little play and a practice on scrap paper before you commit to a card, if it makes you happier to do it that way. But in essence, get inking and get having fun is the main thing, I think. So I'm just taking a moment to tidy up some of the mess that I managed to leave on my desk while I was unpacking that. So then this, just very gently ease off at the edge. Just being mindful of that string. Then we can pop that back into our rubber stamp, and then we've got, pop that out, got a couple of flowers, got a time to celebrate, to you, and hooray. Oh, look what we could do. How about putting that little to you? I'm going to work with one block because if you order the set, this is all you have. But you could put this onto a smaller block if you had a smaller block, or you can use potentially the bottom of a, if you've got a glass that has a flat bottom, hold on, just make sure we get those bits out of the way before we do this. A glass with a flat bottom, you can use a smaller glass. So let's just pop to you there. Happy birthday to you. Then on that one, just quickly do an envelope, and what we can do on the envelope, again, I'm just going to decorate the flap of the envelope with the thick end of my pen. I'm literally going to put some stripes across. So I've got the pen slightly leaned to the side. And there we go. Little decorated envelope. That's quite cute. So that's another easy way to decorate the envelope. And then the other thing we'll do is do one envelope quickly. Again, I'm going to use the same block, but we've got these little flowers. So this card is in the bumblebee, so you can do it as many different colours as you wanted, or you can do them all the same colour. So this, we're going to do a set of bumblebee flowers, which I'm going to pop into that corner. Then I'm going to clean those off, and I'm going to do the two outer ones in bumblebee and the middle one. And because these are much smaller and they don't get a chance to dry so much, I don't need to breathe on them prior. There we go. And then let's do one more. Do the two outer ones, and I'm going to do the centre. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. So I've done the centre of the flower in cinnamon. I'm going around the edges in my bumblebee, and I've got two cinnamon flowers either side, and again just repositioning it slightly differently. So there you go. That's 3 decorated envelopes that we have. So I've done one just on the flap, one on the flap and some little spriggy bits on the front. Nothing stops us putting extra flowers on there. And then one that goes with that one. So I'm just going to add some of those extra flowers around the front of this card. So, and the key thing with cleaning between each set of stamping is really just to try and make sure that you don't end up messing your pens up, and try and keep the inks, that might be quite sweet, in each of the corners. So you see that went slightly smudgy there. I very slightly moved the stamp, so the best thing to do is really just try and take it straight down, straight up. But if you've smudged it, it's not a problem either. So I'm just going to put some flowers in each one of those corners. So this range of colours really gives you a really kind of flexible range. And the other thing I just thought of. However creative you are, you can get as creative as you like. So I'm going to put a little bit of cinnamon cider edging on the inside of those letters. Just makes it look slightly different. So you could do that around the outside. You could do it all the way around the whole thing. But essentially, creativity is just let the juices flow and go with how you feel. So we can make it simple, we can make it a bit more fancy. Doesn't have to be absolutely, the point is it's handmade, and people absolutely love handmade cards. Just putting that extra special little something to a card. And then we've also got these little baby flowers, so going to add, oh no, on the thick end again, so again just colouring across the top of the stamp set. And these, I feel like I just want them right at the end of that. And that's probably enough to do. So we've reflected the flowers we've got in the envelope. So actually what we might do is, how about adding, so if you finish with the stamp, always try and pop it back into your box. So I'm going to put some cinnamon cider, time to celebrate, just ink that in and pop that inside the card. So we've got that one. Let's see what we can add to our pinks and jades. And equally, you could do as you could get all the detail into these. The bigger flowers could be one colour, the smaller different. The world is your oyster. I'm going to add Hooray, a little Hooray here as well. I think it's a great way to start stamping, and then you can add more and more to your kit. But I've never used Stamp Right markers for, and now I'm starting to think of all different sets that I've got that I actually could get all the detail in different colours. So I'm just going to add some Hoorays. I'm doing them straight, don't know why, don't have to be. I'm going to put another one down the bottom there. Did I put, yep, so I put a little happy birthday on the inside. Oops. Don't need that to you. Oh, yeah, don't need that to you again. So the only thing I might do is just go back in. Oh, not with that colour. With this one. And just brighten that up. So you can use the outline of the letterings you've got there. Make that a little bit more. You can see how it's darkening it up. And nothing stops us See, the world's your oyster. Nothing stops us colouring some of these flowers in. Tend to use I've moved to the thinner end of the pen just to get more accuracy in colouring those bits in. So I might just do a few around the middle there. Hours of fun creating the cards. We all know people that have birthdays, don't we? So I'm just going to do a few of those around that. You could do all the ones around the edge. Entirely up to you. So we have got a happy birthday with some hoorays, and we've done the happy birthday on the inside and used the to you, so it says happy birthday to you, and we decorated the envelope with the pink stripes. We have flowers on the outside of the envelope. We have our flowers in the balloon and around the edge, and a time to celebrate on the inside. And in the cinnamon cider and misty moonlight, so I did the kind of blue around the centre there, the cinnamon more around the outside, and then used just the end of the balloon string to decorate the envelope. And oh, I haven't put anything on the inside of that. Should we just put to you in... Let's do that in Misty Moonlight. So it says happy birthday on the outside, and it's going to say to you on the inside. Just like that. So it comes, as I say, it comes with a big block because you need to be able to get that balloon onto a block. I might leave that as simply as that. The other thing is in the little beginner's brochure, shows you those envelopes decorated like that, and they've made a card just with those balloons, balloon strings, and then they've got some little dots dotted in between. That, oh, I wonder what they've done. Oh, I'm going to play with that. I'm going to work that one out, what they've used for those dots. And there's the full balloon, and that's just using the hooray and squares around with the flowers and the dots, and that's just colouring in not all of the flowers on the balloon. So they obviously picked to do some of the flowers on the balloon and not others, and stamped that. That's rather fun, isn't it? So yeah, lots of ideas here and a few ideas here, and hopefully that has inspired you to do some crafting. So thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.